Get started if that works. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jane Ruger. I'm the president of the Energy Bar Association. Oops, we're getting, all right, there we go, from the beginning. In my spare time and my day job, I'm a partner with the law firm of Perkins Coie based in the Washington, D.C. area. So I have been a member of the Energy Bar Association for over 15 years now, and I can honestly say it's one of the best investments I've ever made, both in terms of volunteer time and membership dues over that period of time. Just the value I get from the community that we've nurtured here and the excellent programming that one can both be a part of creating and also be the recipient of is just unparalleled in my view for the energy space. So I'm very excited to introduce some new folks to our organization. And look forward to any questions that you have towards the end. One thing in terms of housekeeping, we are planning on recording this session so that we can share this information with others who couldn't make it at this time today. So just be aware of that. I think if we can go to the first slide, Lisa. So in terms of how we'll organize our time here today, we'll start with a little bit about who we are at the Energy Bar Association, and then we'll get into some details about the resources that are available to you as a member. And then we'll follow that up with, as I said, lots of different ways to engage and be engaged by the Energy Bar Association. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then we'll be happy to take any questions that you may have on next steps or anything about our experiences with the Energy Bar. So if we could go to the next slide here, just a little bit of introductions. As I said, my name is Jane. I'm the president this year. I will be starting us off with a little bit of background about who we are. And then Lisa Levine, our fantastic CEO, for the Energy Bar Association, is also here with us today, and she'll be giving us some more information about all those resources that I talked about. And then finally, Max Minsner, who is also joining me on the board of the Energy Bar Association this year. He's general counsel with Acadia Power. And he'll be rounding things out with a little bit more discussion about the ways you can engage with EBA and all the excellent things that he's gotten into over the years through EBA. And then, like I said, we'll follow up with some questions. So we can dive right in. We'll go to the next slide, Lisa. So the Energy Bar Association was established in 1946. So next year we have our 75th anniversary, which is pretty amazing from my perspective. Seen a lot of changes in the energy industry in that time. But what hasn't changed is really our mission and where we focus, the benefits that we bring to our members. And as you can see here, mission is to advance the professional excellence of those engaged in energy law, regulation, and policy through professional education, exploring diverse viewpoints, and building connections. And I think the three key words here, that for me at least, are the education. That's an incredible benefit, and you'll see later the various resources that we have programming-wise to continue education in the energy space. The diverse viewpoints, I think that's a really critical piece of what Energy Bar has to offer, which is that we don't have a particular, substantive viewpoint on any legal issues that face the energy industry, but we are really focused on providing a neutral platform where all those different diverse viewpoints can be heard and can kind of have that conversation that needs to happen as new issues affect the field. And so it makes it a really interesting place and platform to kind of see where those issues are bubbling up. And then the last one is building connections. And I think, as I mentioned at the very beginning, the community is really what makes Energy Bar Association special. I think that if you ask many of our longest members who've been with us for the longest time, what they really like about the Energy Bar Association, 9 out of 10 of them are going to say the community, the opportunity to network, and just the opportunity to meet folks that they come across in their practice in the different facets of energy law, whether that be litigators, dealing with the rate case at the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or working on a contract, or a state regulator maybe that you have to do business with. Meeting those folks in a different context, all kind of interested in these diverse viewpoints that we're listening to, is a really fantastic benefit to everyone's career and just enjoyment in their practice. So that I think are the three critical parts of our mission that we focus on as we go here. Our membership is quite diverse. Right now we're about 1,700 people, give or take a few. And as I said, very diverse. So we have a number of private law firm attorneys. We also have quite a few government attorneys. We have folks who are professors, academic world. We have students, members as well, who are very engaged. And then we also have in-house counsel, small solo practitioners. And then somewhat unique, I think, among bar associations is that we also welcome energy professionals in our numbers. So consultants who are engaged in the energy space, other service providers who are equally focused on energy are also encouraged and welcome to join our association and participate fully. So that's something very exciting. You don't have to be an attorney to join. Next slide. So this is just a brief overview of the org chart. And as you can see, we've got a number of different interesting facets to the organization. The Energy Bar Association board up at the top kind of sets the direction and focus for the organization as a whole. And then below that, we have two sister organizations that you'll hear about a bit more later in the presentation. One is the Charitable Foundation of the Energy Bar Association, CFEBA, and the other is the Foundation of the Energy Law Journal, both of which have their own boards and focus on the activities of those two separate organizations that, again, you'll hear about more a little bit later. There are also opportunities to be part of task forces, and these are kind of change every year. They're small groups that look at particular issues that might be facing the Energy Bar Association itself, and are a great way to, again, meet other people who are in the Energy Bar and work together on sort of issues that might be facing the Energy Bar today. So as examples, this year I've got several task forces that are focused on our strategic plan, which involves, outreach to law students and young lawyers, which involves improving diversity and inclusion in our ranks, which is something we always want to be working on. And then also just the changing environment for programming and technology that we need to keep up with. So those are all things that people can get involved with, as members of the Energy Bar. Below that, we also have, as I mentioned before, our association CEO in the middle, because she's important to all things. And she's supported by a staff of two folks who are central to making everything run perfectly and on time, which is great. They're a fantastic group, really friendly, and are very accessible, which is really something to be said for serving a large number of people. In terms of other opportunities to get involved, we have steering committees, which are organized by substantive area of the energy law space. So we have one that's focused on electricity. We have another that's focused on natural gas and oil and liquids pipeline type work. We have another that's focused on sort of state or federal practice areas. So for example, maybe more focused on the FERC or practice before state PUCs. And when we have another that's focused on transactional matters. And then we have another one, a fifth one, that is focused on enforcement and matters of that type. And really what it is just a way for folks to find particular substantive areas within the energy law space that they are particularly interested in. and work towards putting on some excellent programming and supporting the organization in that way. It's also an opportunity to be a speaker, if that's of interest to you, and offering yourself as a speaker on a panel of interest to you. And that's the main engine of how a lot of our programming gets done, is through these steering committees. We also have a number of business councils. Whoops, come back. She's telling me I'm staying too long on the slide, I think. So the business councils are also a really important facet in another way that are similar to steering committees that you can get involved, but are more focused on type of professional. So we have an energy professionals council that focuses on including and participation by energy professionals as opposed to the lawyers. We have another for in-house counsel, and we have, as another example, a young lawyers council. We also have what we call the Professional Education Council, which is the group that gets really involved in putting on our major national meetings. So we have two of those, one in the spring, the April-May timeframe, the annual meeting, and then we have another coming up in the fall, actually October 13th, 14th this year. Those are major meetings, a couple days long, and the Professional Education Council is an opportunity to get involved in preparing and presenting those. We also have regional chapters, which I'll actually get to with the next slide, so bear with me on that one. But the final box here is the Energy Law Academy, which is another excellent aspect of what the Energy Bar Association does, that's focused more on folks who are new to the energy space. So we have a primer series, for example, that has been run in different substantive areas like electricity, trading, natural gas, hydro, NERC reliability issues. A lot of those different areas where if you need kind of a basic introduction to the law in those spaces, you can get it through these programs that are, I will say, incredibly reasonably priced when you look at all the other options out there. So that's kind of our organization in terms of the layout. Now we can go to the next slide. And here, as I mentioned, we have different chapters that we're organized by. So all of our members are members of the national organization, where you can be a part of those steering committees or business councils that I mentioned earlier. But you can also elect to be a part of a chapter. And this is where we get more of a regional focus and allow folks to network and pursue programming that may be more relevant to a particular region than the national scheme. So we have 8 different chapters that are listed here. And as you'll see, we even have one in Canada, which is a lot of fun. It's our newest chapter. And so this is another opportunity to get involved both in terms of leadership. So you could be part of the board, on these different chapters, and also involved in programming, design or attendance with each of these chapters. Every chapter has at least one annual meeting that's done every year. And then there's also throughout the year some webinars and other types of programs that are put on that are maybe more regionally focused. So one example, the Southern chapter recently had a series of webinars that were done in conjunction with the university on a number of different energy topics. And it was really a fascinating one to join, even though I'm not in the Southern section myself, but I found them to be really interesting and learned a lot that I didn't know about in terms of the grid in the Southeast. So that is our chapter structure. And I think at this point, I will turn it over to Lisa to talk a little bit about other resources.
Great, thank you, Jane. And we're really pleased to have people here today, and we're going to definitely open it up for Q&A. So jot down any questions you might have. This is meant to be a a quick way to get, to learn and get involved with EBA, because we're a very open, welcoming organization. Today I'll go through a variety of different resources that we have available to members. I'll briefly go through this list, but then I'm going to show you some slides to give you a little bit more graphic understanding of some of the resources that we have. Of course, as a bar association, we have a very robust e-library, and I'm going to flip over to that right now. Our e-library has just thousands and thousands of documents in it that include handouts from prior programs that we have done throughout the years. It includes articles, it includes recordings. You can get both audio recordings, video recordings. There are on-demand recordings in there that include access to CLE points as well. So this is one area that we certainly encourage members to, actively jump into and take a look at what is available. And if you ever have a hard time finding something, you can reach out to any of the staff, and we will do our best to point you in the right direction for some of the resources that we have. This probably, to me, I think this is one of the most important areas. This is a look at our member profile, and what it is every when somebody joins, they get a profile online, and they can fill out their profile to make it quite robust, or they can leave it alone and not really have much. And this is an example of what a more robust profile looks like, where you can, in addition to having your name and your address and your affiliation, you can add your photo so people are aware of who you are. You can add a 50-character description so that people can, if they need to access you for some support, they can find that out. It automatically, the profile has your join date in there and your contact information, unless you choose to, you have an option to make that unavailable online. And then what will come up is just your name, but any other information you elect to make unavailable will obviously not be shown there. What's also neat is you can put your law school alma mater, list that in there, and I found that people really enjoy that because they wind up connecting with others who have gone to the same law school. We also have a place where it automatically populates your current volunteer roles. You would populate your areas of practice, or if you're an energy professional, the areas of specialty where you work. And then below the screen shows the former volunteer areas that you have worked in. All of this is tends to be important when people are looking up each other, or trying to find someone to work with. Maybe you met somebody at a conference, but you don't really know a lot about them. You can look it up in here. You can also, in your profile, attach your LinkedIn profile and your Twitter handle and your Facebook handle, if you have those. So we encourage you to go into your online profile and add those. And then I will also give a little tip for anyone who is an attorney who needs CLE. There is also a place on here to insert your bar number and the state in which you need, the state in which you're barred. That is not information that is shown publicly, but that reduces the need for you to, one, ever include it when you register for something in the future. And also it ensures that we actually have the right information, because during the times when we used to meet face-to-face and people used to sign off on CLE forms, sometimes perhaps we might not have been able to read their handwriting very well. And so this ensures complete accuracy. Another resource that I wanted to talk to you about is whether you are looking for a job or looking for someone to fill a job or just looking to enhance your skills. We have a career center, and in the career center are both, it's both for job seekers and for employers, and there are resources in there. But there are also some really other excellent resources that are featured in. This is more or less what the homepage looks like of the Career Center. But there are other resources that are featured, like ideas on how to prepare for interviews, how to ask for a raise, how to manage what do you call it, an evaluation for your job. Resources like that are also in the Career Center. So it's a really great place to kind of poke around and find different things that you might have need for, or if you work with folks who might have a need for something. There's also, in the Career Center, there's an opportunity to have your resume reviewed by a resume professional. And you can, through one of the online buttons, you can upload your resume and have a confidential critique of it before you move on with posting it any place that you want. So I encourage you to check there. Once you become a member of EBA, you also will then start getting career notifications from time to time, which you can go in and specialize if you have an area where you're really looking for a job, or if you're looking for people interested in a specific job. There's a whole section in the Career Center where you can go in and really personalize the search to what you need, and then you'll get emails on those. I think it's every 2 weeks. Okay, a couple other resources that are available to members. This is the homepage of our EBA Insights. EBA Insight is our weekly newsletter. It comes out every Wednesday. It is really chock full of industry information, as well as bringing you up to date on some important things going on with EBA. One of the coolest features about the Insight newsletter is that you can go into this page. And so if you get the newsletter, you can access any article and get to the home page, and you can go in and identify the type of news you want to get. So if you are only interested in oil and gas, and you don't want anything to do with wind and renewable, you can identify exactly the type of news that you want, and through AI features, it will continue to smooth out and figure out what your desired reading is, and will bring you the exact news that you want on your desktop. And this news on the desktop comes to you every day, even though the e-news that we send out only highlights usually 4 or 5 news articles, and that comes to you just once a week. But you can go to this platform every day and have access. So I encourage you to take a look at that. Get involved. Well, Jane already spoke quite a bit about getting involved, and only members are allowed to participate on our committees, on our councils, our steering committees, on our board of directors. We also have other opportunities, which I'll talk about when we talk about the other foundations. But there are also great opportunities to really help shape the organization, the industry, and also provide some give back to the industry. And that includes both in terms of speaking engagements and leadership engagements, but there are also charitable engagements as well. So pretty much, if you are interested in getting engaged, there is just really a plethora of ways to do that, and it's whatever works for you. Some people prefer maybe serving as an editor or a co-editor on one of our publications, or other people might want to teach, other people might want to mentor. It really is what works for you. We probably have an opportunity for you to engage. And what we do know is, and I think Jane and Max will both agree with this, is the more you get engaged, of course, the more contacts you make and the more fun it is. And you really, it's a wonderful group of people in the Energy Bar. And you will make, in addition to wonderful colleagues, you'll probably make lifelong friends as well, because people who are in the bar tend to stay in the bar, and they just continue to stay involved with us. So I encourage you to do that. I'm not really going to go through the committee and council structure because Jane really covered that already. And then we also have, as Jane mentioned, our annual meeting, our mid-year forum, and our Energy Law Academy. And in addition to all of these programs, these are I would say, our bigger programs. We have numerous webinars going on every month. In a time when we can get together face to face, we have things that we call energizers, where it might be a lunch, brown bag lunch and learn opportunity. It might be a afternoon educational program that goes into a reception. It might be a coffee in the morning. So we're trying to, we're definitely bringing programming to you. We're not doing it in person right now, but I think we're meeting as many needs as possible through all the various programs that we provide. And we're always open to more ideas. So the door is always open for the ideas. Okay, couple more things, and then I'll toss it over to Max. We have a university lecture program, and this is a really cool program that we have where members go to law schools. It could be in their region, it could be to their alma mater, and talk to them about working in a practice in energy law, or working in the energy law profession. We have, EBA has a whole package that you can take to do a guest lecture program, including slides and some giveaways for students, and really to make it fun. But it's a great opportunity, particularly if you're someone who enjoys going back to support your alma mater. It's a great opportunity to go back and talk with them about the practice of energy law. We find that law students really appreciate hearing from those in the field and understanding what it's really like to be in the energy law area. And so if you, again, have an opportunity to do that, and you want to kind of go visit your alma mater and do a program as well, we will work with you on putting that together. And now we're on to the Energy Law Journal. As Jane mentioned, we do have two, and now I'm going to pause for a second because I think, Max, were you going to talk about these? I don't want to.
I'm happy to talk about the Energy Law Journal and the.
Excellent. We'll just change up the voice now. So go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa and Jane. That's a great introduction. I want to just second where Jane started. Being involved in EBA, being on the board of directors the last 3 years, and being a member and a participant in numerous EBA events before that, really has been crucially important for my career. I first got involved in EBA when I was at the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, first in enforcement, and then as general counsel, both going to events and speaking and writing. And it really is a fabulous way for the practicing bar to interact with in-house lawyers as well as government lawyers through all the many different engagement events, the annual meetings, the energizers. It's been incredibly valuable for my career. And I know that many people, both inside and outside of government, have felt that way. The great thing about it, as Lisa was pointed, is that there really are so many different ways to engage. In addition to speaking, I think I really wanted to emphasize the opportunities to write. The Energy Law Journal is really, in my sense, a unique law review around the country because it really is crucially important to the practicing bar. Most people in the energy field I know read it rigorously because we know that judges read it and they cite it and they learn things from it. So it is a place where whether it's government lawyers, whether it's practicing lawyers, it's where the bar does speak to each other. It is peer reviewed, it's overseen by folks with real energy expertise. If you're looking to write and get in touch with people in this space, it's really unparalleled as an opportunity to do that. Can we go to Eva Brief next, Lisa?
Yes.
Eva Brief is a newer initiative launched. At least we launched it last year, 18 months ago, something like that.
April of this year.
Oh, April. Okay.
Yeah.
We were talking about it for about a year before that.
It just feels like 18 months ago.
April was a long time ago. It sponsors shorter works that are designed to be still very rigorous, but not in the depth of a full-length law review. I think we're all very excited about it as an endeavor. Under the prior president, this really was a priority, and we all thrilled at the success. I know Jane is keeping it up. It's definitely an opportunity to get your name out there on a subject where you have some expertise. Also, a way to learn a fair amount about topics where we all recognize that things in this space can be a little bit esoteric. So if you want to find out about something about energy transmission, natural gas pipelines, an Eva Brief article can be an excellent place to start. And then we can go to 18, and I'll just talk a little bit about the Charitable Foundation. The CFEBA is a partner organization of EBA with its own board, but it is an opportunity for members of the Energy Bar to give back. Runs events typically in parallel. One of their major events is a dinner in connection with the Energy Bar Association annual meeting that looks for opportunities to support causes that are consistent with the overall mission of the Energy Bar Association. Very frequently, it's issues of energy access, bringing electric power to areas that have typically not had it. Supported by the members of EBA, it really has been a fabulous way to folks to be able to give back in this space, because we think we all recognize the extent to which energy and the ability to access energy is crucial to growth in the first through the third world. So I guess we've covered a lot today. I think unless Lisa or Jane have something else they want to say, we can go to questions.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and there. And we would love to take any questions that people have. You can unmute yourself, jump in.
Hi, I have a question. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name's Tanya, and I'm a student at Georgetown University's Law Center. I did see on the website that there is some information about a mentoring program, but the way that it's presented on the website is that there are a list of potential mentors and then their contact information. So I was wondering if that operates by us just simply reaching out, or if there's more of a formal networking program.
Sure. Go ahead, Jane.
I know, I was just going to say that I think that the intent there was that it would be more informal, because we thought that would just be a little easier to get people connected. So you're absolutely right. You have the contact information there, and just go right ahead and reach out to the folks who you would be interested in speaking with. And I can certainly say I was working with the Masters Council, who kind of sponsored that program this year, in developing it. And I mean, even I was amazed by just the breadth of different types of work experience and career development that those folks have. There's a number of past presidents at the bar, and folks who are in all different walks of energy life, as you will. And so, yeah, please go right ahead and reach out. I think over time too, the Young Lawyers Council is going to be working with the Masters Council to produce some webinars and other opportunities to sort of interview and have discussions with some of those mentors as well. So that might be another way to kind of break the ice if you wanted, but there's no reason to hold back and go right ahead and reach out.
Okay, great. And then one other thing about the university guest lecture program. So I'm just starting so I'm in the process of starting an energy law society at Georgetown. So if you can imagine, we don't have one.
Cool.
We have an environmental law society, but not like a specifically, tailored to energy group. So I am going to be in the process of formulating some programming, and I'd love to get connected with someone to perhaps talk about, bringing folks out, perhaps Georgetown University alums that are in the EBA to do a lecture.
That would be great. Tanya, if you don't mind connecting directly with me, I can work with you on that, and that would be fantastic. I also wanted to follow up on what Jane said. We do have a free program scheduled for September 9th at from 6 to 7 p.m. It's on our website, and it is a happy hour between, it's with the Young Lawyers Council and one of our masters, who's going to talk about how he got into energy law and so forth. So you can go right onto the website, and there's a link there's a button to hit to join the LinkedIn, sorry, not LinkedIn, the Zoom program. And register for that. And I think you guys would enjoy it.
Okay, great. Thank you. And how should I get in contact with you?
Oh, I guess that would help. You know what? I'll email you after the program.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I would just add to what Jane and Lisa said. I mean, I think the commitment to networking and opportunities for younger lawyers is really core to what EBA is doing. The mentoring program is a great place to start, but I think everybody recognizes that the networking benefits of the annual and mid-year meetings are really key reasons that people participate. And so it's a very open and welcoming community, especially to younger lawyers and law students. So that's just a really wonderful way to get involved too.
Other questions? Information
Go ahead,
Lauren.
Oops, there's two people talking.
Go ahead, Lauren.
Oh, hi. So I was wondering if we're submitting a piece for the Energy Bar Journal, should we distinguish now if we want it submitted for the brief or if we want it in the other journal? Because now this is a new component.
Yep, great question. You definitely should. Both publications have an editorial review board. The rigor in which an article is put through for the journal is quite extensive. The brief is not as extensive, and because it's meant to be an easier, more timely article than the journal. Both are listed on the Energy Law Journal website. Information about how you submit for both of them. And the way you can find that is you can either go to our website, and at the very bottom, there's a link for the Energy Law Journal. It'll say FELJ, and you can link over to that, and it'll tell you how to submit for either publication. Or if you have any troubles with that, you can contact me. And I should just say, Lisa Levine at EBA-net.org. Scratch that. It's L Levine at EBA-net.org. And you can also find me on the website.
Thank you.
Sure. Karen, did you have a question?
First of all, Lisa, I'm very jealous of your location. It looks beautiful, and I wish I was there.
It's only Virginia. It's just nice out today.
It's beautiful. I cannot wait to get outside if I ever get out of here. My question is, how do we get more engaged with the business councils? So I'm one of the energy professionals, not a lawyer. I would just be curious in helping, or at least finding out, what the various business councils do. So if you could elaborate a little bit more on the business councils.
Mm-hmm. Jane, you want to jump in first?
Sure. I guess I would say my first stop would be to use the EBA website to pull up the leaders of the council that you're interested in. Energy professionals this year is Elliot Roseman, and I think there's a contact information on the website, if I remember correctly, so that you can get in touch with him, and he would know kind of the key areas that council in particular would be focused on this year. And that's a great way to get involved. I know he's had a meeting or two already of the council this year, and would love to have help in putting on programs and the like. And beyond the Energy Professionals Council, I think it's just a matter of really signing up, frankly, and putting yourself out there to kind of volunteer. Maybe if you have an idea of a program that you think would be really interesting in your practice area, something along those lines, and reaching out to the leaders in those groups. I think my experience has been people have been really excited to have help in organizing those, and excited for the new ideas. Lisa, I don't know if you would have other suggestions that on top of that.
Yeah, those would be my suggestions as well. And whenever somebody joins, because our bar year is in the spring, and we have all new signups. But after that, if people join after that time, we do a direct communication with the leader of whatever committee it is, to let them know that so-and-so joined, and to please contact them to get them involved in meetings. And again, this year, it's certainly all meetings by phone or Zoom or whatnot, but at least it's, at least they're getting together, right?
Great, thank you, Lisa and Jane.
You're welcome.
And I guess one other thing I would add too is that, if you're interested in sort of becoming a leader in one of those areas, which I certainly have found very, very rewarding on my front, that's a great way to get started too. And I think that, each year the leadership changes. And so, I think most of us now, we're on a track where it's kind of 2 years. So you have a opportunity to be a vice chair and then a chair of your council. And I think that's a great way to get started, is to kind of pop up as a trustworthy volunteer. And then, that tends to get the ball rolling if you're also interested in leadership opportunities.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. My name is Leanna Wade, and I'm a student at Howard University School of Law. And I just wanted to thank you so much for the presentation. It was excellent. I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit more on the Energy Law Academy and kind of the benefits of that as a student.
Sure.
Did you want to go, Lisa, or you want me to go?
Sure.
Either way.
Okay.
Or Max.
Yeah. The Energy Law Academy is composed of, right now, I think it's 11 courses, as Jane said, in different areas of practice. We have one coming up in September. We have another one coming up in November. And we actually have a program that after you take a certain amount of them, you'll receive a certificate of completion for the Academy. And that is something you can definitely put on your, on your resume or in your profile and that type of thing. What's really great about the Academy courses is that the curriculum really stays the same, whether you took it 2 years ago or next year. It is all a basic understanding of that portion of the industry. So it assumes that you're not familiar with it. And we have very experienced attorneys as well as completely new attorneys who are in any given class. Because somebody may be a specialist in gas, but they don't know anything about hydro. So it's a great opportunity. The way we conduct the course is it's right now during COVID, it's 2 afternoons. And we have we have an agenda and a variety of speakers who will, come in and out and talk with you about the different areas. And so hopefully that answers your question on the Academy. Okay, good.
And I guess I would add, just as my own experience with it, is exactly what Lisa had said. I started out my career in the electric side of the house, and had focused there, and then started getting more questions and issues arising with natural gas. And so, I took the Academy Law class on the natural gas kind of 101. And I thought it was great. I mean, the speakers were really clear. We had folks who were from FERC, who were involved in that. Actually, I think it was gas and oil at the time. And I didn't think I knew much about gas, and I absolutely I knew nothing about oil. And it was great because they went through, not just the law, but they talked about the foundation of, how the oil system works in the United States, starting with production all the way, out through transportation. We had somebody from FERC actually in the regulator's office on staff who gave a presentation about kind of the history of regulation. And then we had folks who are practitioners in it who provided, up-to-date sort of case law and other things that were great. And for me, at least, the presentations, the slides were great things that I kept for a long time, just being able to look back and say, what was that case that they said was important here? So it was a really great program.
And the thing with the Academy courses is for student members, the registration fee is very low, with the idea that obviously we know that you're students, but that is a really good basic course. So take a look at that. And while I'm on the registration being low, we are holding our members or our mid-year meeting in October, and it will be 100% virtual over 2 afternoons, October 13th and 14th. And we are holding it free of charge for students. So those students who are on today, talk to your friends, register, bring everybody. We thought it was a nice way to be able to expose you to some of the great programming and keynote addresses. So I encourage you to definitely register for it and participate as much as you can.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Other questions from anyone?
One, please.
Okay, go ahead, Brandon.
Yes, it's day one, so I'm very interested in the business councils. They're on the website. Do I go there and look for a business council?
Yeah, there is a tab on the website called Get Involved.
Okay.
And you'll find a place in there to be able to.
That's how folks like Karen and I can bring the expertise that we've picked up that'll fit well, even though we're not attorneys.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Okay, so again, we recorded this program. We will be posting it on the one of the member pages, member benefits page, in case you want to refer back to it at any time. And I'll turn it over to Jane for any concluding comments.
Yeah, I'm just very excited to see all of you here. I'm really, to the extent most or all of you are new members, I think that's fantastic. And super excited to see, our students who are starting out their EBA journey. And I hope that, you find it as fantastic as I have. And I look forward to seeing you at our events.
Thank you all. Have a good afternoon. Bye.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.